Another thing that's happening here in Colombia in the last 5 years is that it's obvious. Coffee producers, they don't have enough money
Right.
to feed their families, and they
Yeah.
are ditching coffee. So Colombia lost about 40,000 hectares last year of coffee because coffee producers are saying this is not a way I can feed my family. So they
Right.
are ditching coffee trees and started planting avocado,
Right.
plátano, and other citrus fruits like lulo, maracuya, and other things that could like have a more profit out of the land that they own. That it's pretty much all they have. So it's really hard because the supply chain is so large that
Yes.
every piece of the supply chain has to get a cut. Another issue is that most importers and coffee roasters, they they are not going to bother with all the logistics. I was in Germany and Spain
Yeah.
in December last year, visiting roasters, delivering samples, and most of them, I can say 80%, they don't want to deal with anything bureaucracy, imports, nothing. You bring your coffee here to Europe, and once it's here, we can start negotiating. So that's
Wow.
another issue. I can count just with one hand the coffee roasters that tell me, okay, give me an FOB price, and we can start from there. Most of them, they don't want to import, they don't want any of that paperwork. They say, put your coffee in a warehouse here in Europe and tell me how much is it for kilogram, and then we can start dealing. And another thing is samples. Okay,
Yeah.
I traveled with a full bag of samples.
Right.
It cost a lot of money to produce the samples, to go to Europe, to stay there for almost a month, to
Yeah.
travel from city to city in two countries. And I can say that maybe only 40% of the roasters I visit and deliver samples gave me an answer.
Oh.
But of those 40%, I think maybe only 20% give me an honest feedback, and they took the time to cup the samples, and they tell me, Daniel, this is really good, or Daniel, I liked it, but you can improve this, or Daniel, I didn't like. The other ones didn't even reply, or just gave me a feedback of coffee didn't meet the standards, and that's it.
Wow.
So you have all the difficulties of being a coffee producer in a third world country. You manage to travel abroad to Europe and deliver samples. And for me, it's just decency. Like, roasters need to understand that a sample, 100 grams of green sample, took a lot of work, a lot.
Yes. A
And if I
lot of
go to uh, and if I go to Europe and I'm at your doorstep and you're receiving me the samples, please have the decency and the respect to cup them. And if you hated the coffee, then tell me why you hate it. Then I can improve. And maybe in the next harvest, I can get you again the samples, and maybe I did a good job, and maybe we can start a negotiation. But it's really hard sending a sample from here in Colombia to Europe, to North America, and to Asia or Australia or New Zealand. It's really expensive,
yes.
and producers need to. We have to pay for that. So imagine
Yeah.
if I go and I contact a roaster via email and I say, okay, I'm doing this and that, and he say, okay, bring me samples, okay, and I say, okay, but you have to pay for the samples. End of conversation. That's it. Take the time. If you are going to receive a sample, please take the time. If any roaster is going to watch this video, please take the time, treat the samples with respect, and give an honest feedback. I always say any feedback is good feedback. If you tell my coffee is terrible and is tasting like paper, there's something I missed and I did wrong, so I can improve it.